What's up, YouTube? This is Kevin. You can just call me Kev. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing of the ANYCUBIC Mega Pro 3D printer. I just ordered this bad boy off of Amazon, so we're going to be unboxing it. Let's get to it. Before we get to the actual unboxing, I want to point out something, a mistake that I almost made when purchasing this thing. As you will notice, there are three different variants of the ANYCUBIC Mega. You have the Mega S, the Mega Pro, and the Mega X. I wanted to order the one with the laser attachment. The only one of these three that has the laser attachment is the Mega Pro. As far as I know, I think the base, as you see here, is 8 inches. Or 8x5. For the Mega S is I think roughly the same, and the Mega X, that's the big base, that's 11 inches by 12. So if you want the one with the laser attachment, it is the Mega Pro, and at the time of this video, as you can see, it's $379.72, and you know, I got it in a few days, like literally. I think it was almost the next day, so that was excellent. Now keep in mind, this is a 2-in-1 machine, not a 3-in-1 machine. This does not include a CNC. It only has the laser engraver, and it has the extruder for the filament. Now keep in mind, the laser engraver, it's just an engraver. It's not a glow forge. It's not going to cut wood or anything like that. It's just going to engrave on your wood or your paper or whatever. So with that, y'all, let's take a look at the actual unboxing. All right, right into it, everybody. My nifty little review tool here. Pretty big box. Looks like it's packed up pretty well. A little plastic. Looks like we got the bag of accessories here, the wires, the cables, stuff I'm gonna need to assemble it. Here's the main unit. Put this up for somebody to get cut. Looks like there's some introductory material, some wood, some paper, and some instructions for the laser here. This thing was packed up really well. It looks like okay, this is trash. All right, let me just set this right here. That's it. That's everything in the box. Let's start putting this bad boy together. Filament. This is the laser attachment here. There's the business end. Has a fan connected to it right there. The glasses. Yeah, these are ultra cheap and ultra dirty. I'm gonna have to clean these before we try them out. But yeah, like a protective glasses for the laser. Okay, I'm sure I'll figure out where that goes. Power cable. Have to see these assembly parts here. This looks like the this is the extruder nozzle, and the filament goes through there. It passed inspection. Like I understand anything that says, right? All right, this is cool. Comes with this, so you can scrape it up when your thing is finished. Oh, cool. I was worried if I was gonna have to get one of these cards. How many gig is this? This is for a 4 gig SD card. So it comes with that. Cool. 4 gig. Some little screws. And I honestly don't know exactly what this is yet, so I'll have to see in the instructions. Are these little wires or anything? So it has these little wires in there. Well, we'll have to see what these are for. I'm not exactly sure. Alright, so that's everything. So let me read the instructions a bit and I'll be back. Alright, so after reading those instructions, it took about 5 minutes and read through those. I realized there was a few things I didn't unbox. You obviously have here the cable that goes to the side of the unit, where it kind of plugs in like a printer cable, and this goes into your USB here. So I've heard a few people, either they don't like using this, they like using the SD card instead of connecting it directly to the unit, because sometimes it can cause a lag if you have it directly connected. We'll see. That's that. What this is? What is this? Okay, SD card. Here we go with a. It actually has SD card that has the full size slot. I think that's what that is. Yeah, the full size slot and the mini slot. So cool, that's nice. service card. Yeah, I'm hoping I don't have to call this because, you know, it's in China. They may have great service, but we'll see. Okay, and obviously they provided several tools to do the assembly. You got your screws. It looks like there's a spring in there. Here's the screws we took out earlier. Putting those on the white because I hate putting it on a black background and then you lose it so easy. Obviously a set of Allen wrenches, different sizes. Very tiny screwdriver and another Allen wrench. And some, look like some wire clippers here. This thing here is actually the leveling module that you put on the nozzle so that when it touches the plate, it won't damage the nozzle. So you'll see that. One thing I noticed here, and I'm not sure, I showed you this earlier. I thought it was it is the nozzle for the extruder, but there's one, let's see if you can see this already. There's one already installed in here, so I'm not sure if that's an extra nozzle or a different size nozzle or what. All right, let's get to it. So I want to speed this up for y'all because the assembly takes a little bit of time. It actually took me about an hour. I'm just showing you the outlets and showing you that this goes on the front and how it slides on there. And then I begin to put the screws in on each side. And one tip I have for y'all is that when you put the screws in, put them in 2 at a time on each side, and then don't screw them in all the way, because if you screw them in all the way, you're not going to be able to align the hose properly to put the other 2 screws in. So put them all in pretty loose and then go back and retighten them. I use my hands to get them started. If you have skinny fingers, it might be a little bit better for you. So, like I said, I used my hands to get them started, and then once I got them started, I was able to use the Allen wrench because right there, it's a little tight to screw it in with your fingers and hands. After I get done with this part, you'll see that I pick up this, the little, yeah, that thing there for the spool, the filament spool, and I actually end up putting this on the wrong side. Then I go from there, you can see I'm putting it in the color wires. I put the green in, the black in, and the red one was kind of tucked in that hole, and then the white one goes right there on the side where I point to right there. Skipped over putting the filament holder on there, but as you can see, I have it installed on the left and it actually goes on the right, and I'll figure that out a little bit later and I'll point that out. After turning the machine on, you got to do the leveling, so that's the little leveling module thing too that senses when the node touches the surface of the plate, and it goes to 4 different points on the plate. And what you want to do here is once it touches that plate, well, that's the first start point. Once it touches the plate, you hit next and it'll touch it again. If you don't hear any sound, you adjust the thing like I'm adjusting it there to where it'll start beeping, and it'll keep beeping, well, keep an alarm going like a beep. And you want to adjust that to where if it's already beeping when it goes to the next point, loosen it a bit so that it's not beeping, and then adjust it just so that it just starts beeping. And as you see here, I just figured out that, hey, I might have needed to do the leveling with the paper off. So that was mistake number 2, because I am doing the assisted leveling and not the manual leveling. If you do the manual leveling, then you use the paper, but I'm doing the assisted leveling. Another mistake I think I made here was there's a little rubber nodule, and I think I'll explain that here in a bit. So, but you have to do the whole sequence like 2 or 3 times so that it can be perfected. Okay. So one thing about these instructions that it did not point out before I did the leveling is that you should actually take off this heat preservation nodule thingy. It's a little rubber piece that just comes off like that. Then after you, so doesn't say that. After you take that off, you put your leveling thing on. So I hope, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do the leveling all over again since it was covered by that thing. So let's just do this again real quick. Hopefully if we get the 4 beeps on each side, that'll mean everything is cool. So the leveling gets done successfully, and that's the final time I have to do the leveling. So that's good. So I go get my filament. I bought a large spool of filaments, and I bought the smaller ones here. Do not use the smaller one if you're going to do the owl. It'll save you 2 hours and run out of filament, and the disaster that I'm going to show you here in a little bit. And I think right here, I'm about to realize that I put the spool holder on the wrong side. When I put this thing on here, it's not making sense why this is not looking great. Now, you saw I picked up the clippers there and I trimmed the end. That's what you're supposed to do, trim the end to make sure it's smooth. That's what those little clippers are for. Yep, gotta put it on the other end, and there you see, that's what I do. Okay, as you can see, I've switched this from this side to this side, and it makes more sense for the filament to go up through this little mechanism here and then up through here. So let me go ahead and do that. Has a little arrow on the side, a little arrow indicator on the side, showing that, hey, this is the way it goes. So I'm just gonna turn that, and that goes this little nozzle here. So I wonder how you know when you fed it enough. Like, that feels like it's as far as it can go right there. So, all right. Okay, so when I pressed filament, once it got up to temperature, I fed it up through here. I pressed to where it couldn't go anymore. I pressed filament in again, and now you can hear, I don't know if you can hear it, it's actually, if I hold this line, I can feel it, it's feeding it up through here and down to here. So Next step, it says to put the SD card at the base. So I'll go ahead and do that while that's feeding into there. And we'll do a test print. Awesome. I want to let it finish feeding this filament before we do that, so. Okay, you see it's coming out there. I guess it's extruding any waste in the tube or something. I don't really know. Okay, I guess, okay, you have to tell it to stop. Okay, so I told it to stop, and it says you can use the tweezers to clean. You can use tweezers to clean the residue off the filament. I'm just going to use this little thing here. Take that off the tip. Take that off. All right, so I got that off the tip. And it says insert the SD card into the base. Let's do that. Let's see, is it? Okay, insert the SD card into the base. And I'm gonna go back to the main menu, and on the home menu click print. So I'm clicking print. Oh, it already has owl pair. So we're gonna click the owl. And then click print. Okay, so update. I had to start all over, and that's because I ran out of filament. Ran out of filament because I had that little small piece of filament on there, and I tried to feed it in manually, but that was a disaster, and I ended up having to, you know, get the filament out, and had to actually unscrew that to get the, and I could actually unscrew it by hand to get that that string of filament that was stuck in there. So in any case, I got impatient. I didn't let the base cool down, so what I ended up with was a bunch of pieces from the last model, and you can see the difference in color there. You see the copper color I was going for. And let's get a close-up of what we got going on here now. You see there, the detail looks really good. I mean, that's coming out good. Let's take a quick look at the back. That's pretty good, except for that little distortion there. I don't know what that's all about, but maybe that's part of the design. But yeah, looking good. Okay, this thing is so close to being finished. It's been 2 hours, maybe a little bit more. Oh, there you go. Here's the time right there. 2 hours and 32 minutes that it took to do the owls. So I'm gonna let that finish up and cool off. And then I'll take them off and we'll take a closer look at them. All right, guys, we're all done. I went ahead and pried them off from the plate. What I did, since I had such a disaster earlier, now still impatient, didn't wait for it to cool. So saw in another video where a guy, you know, kind of spritzed the plate with a little bit of water. So I just kind of spooned a little bit of water, and this is like a mixture of 50-50 water and alcohol. So it cleans the plate too. And you can kind of hear the plate crackling as it shrinks down in size and cools. And then I use this one, not the one that came with the kit, because this is actually a little thick at the tip. So I use this one, more flexible, and I think a little bit thinner, and they snapped right off. So let's take a close look at these, guys. I mean, from the I think that's pretty good. I mean, for what I'm going to be using this thing for, this is perfect. Now you'll see on the back, I don't know if it's part of the design, but those little imperfections, it's hard to see with the light. There you go, that little imperfection right there. But other than that, these are great. So there you go. We will do the laser element in a follow-up video.